The film takes place in 1945 during the final year of World War II. Despite their imminent fate, Nazi Germany continued to subject the prisoners in concentration camps to some of the most atrocious punishments humanity has ever known. One of the main perpetrators of this cruelty is Ilse, a sadistic and nymphomaniac woman who serves as a commander in a Nazi concentration camp. Each night, she chooses a prisoner to satisfy her insatiable sexual appetite. But she always ends up disappointed because none can withstand more than one encounter with her. As a result, she returns the prisoners to the concentration camp, even after having promised to free them in exchange for their services. When they complain, she reminds them that at least they had the honor of sleeping with a German woman whom she considers of a superior race. In reality, she does not send them back to the camp. Instead, she takes them to her surgery room to ensure that they will never be able to sleep with any woman again. In a brutal manner, she takes away their virility. The pain they endure is so great that some prisoners die in the process, something that matters little to the commander. After all, she is keeping her promise. They will not return to the concentration camp. Speaking of the camp, soldiers bring in a new group of Jewish female prisoners who are evaluated by Ilse in their underwear. Some are assigned to forced labor in the camp, while others are set aside for a special task. At that moment, a prisoner named Rosette, intrigued, asks what that other group of women will do. The commander arrogantly responds that they will participate in medical research that, according to her, will save thousands of lives in the future. We shall see about that. Shortly after, a new group of male prisoners arrives at the camp, and the commander meticulously inspects them. Among the foreigners, a blond, blue-eyed man who looks German stands out. The prisoner, named Wolf, tries to explain his origin, but a soldier silences him with blows. No one allows him to speak. Only when Ilse grants permission does Wolf confirm that he was born in Germany, but raised in the United States. In fact, he was studying at a German university when the war began, and since then he has been moving from one camp to another. The commander is outraged by his German origin, but he does not deny his American roots. After a general inspection, Ilse conducts a more personal examination, focusing on the masculinity of the new prisoners. When she appears disappointed by their proportions, Wolf dares to say that what really matters is not size. Meanwhile, the female prisoners are taken to a remote area where they see other inmates gravely ill with typhus, tetanus, rabies, and other diseases. Irene and Kala are the only ones still standing, though not for long. They claim that they are exposed to terrible illnesses and then injected with experimental drugs that merely prolong their agony. If you think this is bad, just wait to learn about Ilse's life project. She is convinced that women are more tolerant of pain than men. To prove this, she subjects problematic female prisoners to extreme tortures, from beatings to floggings. In this way, she tries to argue that women can fight on the battlefield just like men. On the other hand, the prisoner Mario informs Wolf about his suspicions regarding what the commander does with the selected women. Although he laments their fate, Wolf comments that at least the men seem safe here. He is mistaken, as his companion warns him that the Black Widows will eventually castrate him. Mario has lived through that experience, and the only thing keeping him going is his desire for revenge against the commander. For his comfort, Wolf tells him that the Allies are about to reach Germany. They just have to hold on a little longer. Meanwhile, Ilse continues to feed her darkest desires, overseeing the torture of a male and a female prisoner who made the mistake of speaking to each other. As a result, both are punished by the infamous Black Widows, the commander's personal guard. After finishing with them, Ilse orders them to be hung in a visible place and then tells them to bring her the American. Once in her bed, Wolf shows no fear. On the contrary, he promises to give her so much pleasure that she will end up begging him to stop. It would not be the first time a prisoner has said that to save himself, but she soon realizes he speaks the truth. For the first time, a man takes her to a point we cannot describe for fear of being blocked, and this is not the end. Wolf still has many bullets in the chamber. As he predicted, Ilse begs him to stop. Shortly afterward, the prisoners see Wolf return unharmed, something they had never witnessed before. Impressed, Mario asks how he survived the commander. Wolf replies that he has a special skill. He can fire at will, and you know what kind of firing he means. Thanks to this, Wolf can satisfy any woman, no matter how voracious her appetite. At dawn, the female prisoners wake up to see their Jewish brothers' bodies hanging. Afraid of ending up like that, Rosette and Anna propose an uprising, although Irene and Kala are not so convinced. They do have a point, as many of the women cannot even get out of bed. However, that obstacle also gives them an idea: involve the men. While working on this plan, they must endure the commander's terrible experiments, which I will not bother to describe. Rosette emerges from one of these experiments in extreme pain, and despite the risk, Wolf approaches to offer help. When it is Anna's turn, she shows no signs of pain in front of Ilsa, more out of willpower than true resistance, since she is reputed to be the strongest prisoner. This makes her the perfect guinea pig for the commander. Ilsa continues testing Wolf's special ability. This time she invites him to enjoy her black widows, and they are definitely satisfied. From a safe distance, Ilsa enjoys the spectacle, confirming that the American is quite a stallion. As soon as he finishes with the black widows, Wolf heads towards Ilsa and even instructs her step by step on how to undress. Without realizing it, she is yielding to a mere prisoner. Meanwhile, Mario takes advantage of the distraction to meet with the female prisoners and listen to their revolutionary plan. Although they seem hopeful, Mario warns them it will not be as easy as they think. At dawn, when Wolf finally leaves Ilsa's quarters, she mentions that once Germany wins the war, she will marry him and they will have beautiful children. We know that will never happen. Shortly afterward, the commander is informed that an important Nazi army general will visit her concentration camp to witness her medical research. Meanwhile, the female prisoners are discussing their escape when the commander bursts in, catching them red-handed. Although she intends to punish them for their rebellion, she decides to wait for the general's arrival to do so, at least for most of them. She resumes her personal experiments with Anna, introducing a hot object inside her. After 4 hours of intense suffering, the prisoner is still breathing, proving Ilsa's theory about women's natural resilience. However, this does not mean Anna emerged unscathed. She is returned to her bed in critical condition. Just the following night, they take her away again to continue her torture. This time, they subject her to a deafening noise through headphones. Ilsa is convinced she will surrender and beg for mercy, but Anna prefers to die rather than do such a thing. Taking advantage of the commander's absence, Wolf and Mario visit the female prisoners and plan their next moves. They have identified which guards to eliminate first. All they need are weapons. The next day, Wolf makes the mistake of talking to Rosette in front of the commander, who immediately reprimands him for breaking the rules. However, she cannot punish him. Instead, she invites him to another adventure, demanding he be even better than before. Later, General Weindel arrives at the camp and is received with full honors by the commander, who enthusiastically presents her atrocious experiments in the name of the Third Reich. Floggings, worms, gangrenous wounds, and her personal project. Anna. 3 days of continuous torture have passed for poor Anna, and still she has not uttered a single complaint or cry of pain. She is living proof that women are more resilient than men, but at what price? Impressed, the general promises to inform his superiors about this experiment. Perhaps including women on the front lines would change the course of the war. As part of the welcoming committee, Weindel is invited to a banquet where the main dish is a female prisoner placed on the table. When he feels that his legs are cold, he looks down and sees something revealing. The woman is standing on a block of ice while her neck is tied to the ceiling. If she slips, or if the ice melts, she will die. Not even at mealtime can Ilsa set aside her twisted hobbies. Of course, the general finds it phenomenal, to such an extent that he rewards the commander with the Iron Cross. At the climax of the banquet, when everyone is drunk, the prisoner finally slips off the ice block. It has been a wonderful evening for the general, and it is not even over yet because the commander has one last surprise for him. As she tries to unbutton her shirt, Weindel asks her to only remove her pants. Once she does, the man lies on the floor and confesses that there is only one form of pleasure for him, for her to urinate on him. Let's skip this part. At dawn, after the general's departure, Ilsa summons her favorite prisoner, claiming she needs a real man. By now, she is completely devoted to Wolf and does not even mind that he takes the dominant role. She only seeks pleasure. Thanks to this authority, Wolf can tie her to the bed with her own stockings, telling her that she will be his love slave. Ilsa plays along until he gags her and takes away her radio. Desperate, she tries to free herself, but it is in vain. Wolf leaves her to her fate, not without first taking her pistol. With this pistol, he takes a guard hostage and forces him to open the prisoners' barracks. The prisoners begin to silently attack the soldiers, returning a bit of the pain they have caused. Mario improvises a Molotov cocktail and throws it toward the watchtower, causing an explosion that puts the entire camp on alert. In the shootout, the prisoners gradually weaken their enemies. The Black Widows are not spared, and the doctors are taken hostage. This sparks a debate among the prisoners. Wolf and Rosette propose waiting for the Allies' arrival so that they can be judged, while others like Kala and Irene want to punish their captors immediately. In the end, the majority leans toward vengeance. Thus, Wolf and Rosette flee toward the mountains, fearing the arrival of German reinforcements. On the way, they ask Mario to join them, but he prefers to stay and fight whatever may come. Still tied to her bed, Ilsa witnesses the arrival of a sort of zombie, better known as Anna. They have unfinished business. Unfortunately, just before she can stab the commander, Anna collapses due to her injuries. Finally, German reinforcements arrive at the camp in SS tanks, completely overwhelming the remaining prisoners. After the battle, the unit's commander finds Ilsa tied up. She thought she was safe, but he ends up shooting her right between the eyes. He then burns all the bodies in a bonfire, assuring his superiors that the Allies will never know what happened in this concentration camp. However, Wolf and Rosette manage to escape and are watching from afar, and that's how this movie ends.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.